Welcome to the short video on the use of the LX Navigation Zeus flight computer. This is the first of a short series that cover basic operation and setup. Part 2 covers task setting and use in flight, and Part 3 post activities and also problems you may encounter when using it. The Scottish Gliding Centre has the Zeus fitted to the Rollstar SZD 54-2 Perkoz 2-seat glider. The unit in the rear panel is connected to the front seat unit that acts as the master. The Zeuses are also connected to LX Navigation era variometers and a FLARM. The Zeus is a complex instrument, and so it's not possible to cover everything in these videos. For areas I haven't covered, you'll need to read the manual, which you can download from the LX Navigation website. The videos consist of a mixture of live action shots and screenshots using the Zeus simulator, which you can also download. The simulator doesn't run the latest version of the software, so there may be differences between what is shown in the video and what happens on the real device. The Perkoz is fitted with 2 batteries and a single master switch. Down is off. The centre selects battery 1 and the upper position selects battery 2. It's good to change over about halfway through the day to equalise the battery discharge. Then the top right hand button on the Zeus powers it up. The era on the left comes on first, and then the Zeus starts initialising. You will see that the Zeus has 2 knobs and 8 buttons. Each knob is capable of 3 actions. You can rotate it to move something, a short press to select, and a long press for some secondary action. The text on each button shows 2 functions. The top one is the short press function and the lower one the long press action. There are also occasions when buttons are used as soft keys where the function is displayed on the screen. When the Zeus starts up, you'll see a screen like this. Selection is done pressing the lower left knob. First choose the pilot. If you haven't entered your own profile, just accept the default. The elevation is to be set to the elevation of the takeoff point. Set QNH if you know it, or just accept the value suggested. Then choose the polar for the SZD 54. The Zeus has polars for many gliders built in, but the Perkoz isn't one of them, so a user-defined polar is used. Then set the ballast. The Perkoz doesn't take any water, so this is normally 0. And the Zeus will then initialize and show the initial map screen. As you can see, the main map screen has a lot of information on it, so I'll just run through some of these. On the top left you've got what's called the navigation mode, which could be airport, turn point or task. The centre you have distance and course to your next turn point or next selected point, battery voltage, the time of day. This item here is to do with lead and follow, where you can select a FLARM item or FLARM object to follow around. The right hand side we've got variometer information. Bottom right is McCready, or actually final glide, showing the height needed for a McCready of 0 and in this case McCready of 1.5. Down in the bottom centre we've got some airspace information. Along the bottom are a number of what are called nav boxes or sometimes info boxes. The left hand side we've got airspeed information along with the wind information that the unit has calculated. Right, to set up your own profile as a pilot, you go to Setup, then choose Pilot, and you can see Active Pilot, and there are a number of empty slots here, so choose an empty slot and then enter your name. So we will enter a name here and a last name. Enter your weight. Default ballast, reserve altitude, so if you want to reduce the reserve altitude to perhaps 700 feet, this is sort of your safety altitude. Having entered all this information here, you could then go to Save User if you had a USB drive fitted, otherwise just exit back to the map screen. Having set up a profile, you can add a password. This will prevent other people changing it. So go to Setup, into Pilot again, and this time you can see down here, Set Password. So push that button, enter your password, we'll enter ABC here, and it's now set a new password for Joe Blogs. You'll find now when you start up the Zeus and you choose Joe Blogs as a pilot, you will have to enter the password before continuing. Looking at the setup page, you will see those items on the left have a white background, and these are stored as part of the pilot profile. The items on the right with a black background are stored as part of the system profile, and they're more to do with the glider. If you select the pilot, you're presented with the option to save the user. So if you had a USB stick in, that would save it to the USB stick. This means that you could actually create a profile using the simulator, then take that on the USB stick to the glider and then import it. It'd be much easier to do it at home on the simulator than actually in the aircraft itself. There are 3 navigation modes available on the Zeus called Airport, Turn Point and Task. You select them using the APT button. At the moment we're in airport mode. Press the button once and it goes to task mode, and press it again it goes to turn point mode. You can customize the screen differently for each of these 3 modes, having different indicators and different items in the nav boxes down below. Changing the contents of the nav boxes on the simulator doesn't work, so back on the real device. If you want to change which nav boxes to display, you first select which of the 3 nav box pages you want to change. Then a long press on the lower left button will highlight one of them. Select the one you want to change, and you are then presented with a large choice of items it can display. In this case I've changed it to bearing. With that, I'll bring this first video to a close. As you can see, the Zeus is a very complex instrument, so I would encourage those people who want to use it to download and practice on the simulator. However, it's very capable, and with a bit of practice, I'm sure will be very useful for those people taking it cross-country. The second video shows how to set up a task and what information is available as you try and fly it. So thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.